What's going on, YouTube? It's another episode of Sober Life. It's episode 3. I believe I left off at the wall, but I'll try to continue my best from there, and I'll try to get up to as far as how I got to start to get sober. But I'll finish the end of my story. Anyway, so once I broke into that house, I knew that people wanted me. They wanted my area. They were going to take my life just for my spots, because I had good spots for selling drugs. And they wanted to get rid of me because they knew I was doing it good, and I was, a strong player, man. I just had it done good. So I went back, I got all the boys together, and I got more people together because I knew if these guys came again at me, man, they were going to come stronger. You know what I mean? They missed me the first time. I got out the first time, but I might not have been lucky the second time. So what I had to do was I had to make an army of people around me and make sure that they were my finger puppets. I had to get into these people's heads to get them to basically, if anybody attacks me again, to get in the way so I can get away, right? So I ended up getting a bunch of people together, formed a little army, and, a few more years passed, man. I was doing great. A few more years passed, I wasn't thinking about getting clean. I was just breaking the law, still selling drugs. And then, I felt a generation flip. I could feel that the younger guys that I taught up there and around and whatever, they wanted my spot. And they wanted to take me out because I could feel tension from within. So what I started to do is I started to get rid of some of my own people. Like, get them out, separate from them. Because I felt like other people might have gotten in their heads and placed them in around me to try to get me out. So, eventually, everybody was scared of me. Right? I could walk around at 6 in the morning till 6 in the morning. I didn't have to hide from people because everybody liked me. These guys could only come out at 2 or 3 in the morning till the sun came up. Because they all hated each other, and they all wanted to kill each other, and they were shooting at each other all the time. I could walk around in the day, man, because I had friends. And I had friends everywhere. Like, I was pretty popular up there, man. Nobody wanted to mess around with me, man. Because I was smart the way I did stuff. You know what I mean? If once you spit something out, man, you can't suck it back in. Right? I had to be on the ball, even with my best friends. Like, I used to spit on my hand and say, wet or dry, man. I used to have to slap my own people. Because, you know what? They were acting so stupid sometimes. I had to recheck them. And I swear I would spit on my hand and say, wet or dry. And they'd pick. They'd have to pick. You want a wet slap or a dry one? Because you're getting fucked with one of them. Pardon my French. Sorry. But anyway, I could feel the titles were changing, man. So, the one day, I guess it was last April, I was involved in a drive-by. And I got clipped under my arm. And I knew that someone close around my neighborhood was trying to do me in, right? So it took a bit of time, but I found who them people were, and they were the block over from the block that I was on. So these mother friendsers were trying to take over my spot. They were trying to kill me. People around me but they only come out at night. They're like little friggin' whatever you call them. They wouldn't come out in the daytime because they knew they couldn't. They couldn't come out in the daytime. These mother friendsers had to come out at night. So anyway, I let my guard down a bit one day. I was talking to a few boys from up the road, and they shot at us all. Luckily, we all lived, But that's the life I got into, man. So what I had to do was I had to thicken up my arsenal, right? I had to thicken up my artillery, man, because you know what? I was so not ready for that. I wasn't ready for that at all. I never carried guns on me. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not that kind of guy. I didn't have to. Like, because where I'm from, we fight with our hands, man. These people shoot at you. So I had to do a little bit, a little bit of a change in my own head just to survive. So I had to walk around strapped. You know what I mean? I'm walking around with guns now, man. And in my head, I know I shouldn't be. Because that's not where I'm from, how I roll. And nobody where I'm at, nobody back home walks around with friggin' 2 and 3 guns in their pants. Nobody does that. But anyway, hold on, guys. I gotta close something here. Yeah. But yeah, nobody does that, man. But I was still nervous because I was nervous thinking I'm gonna shoot myself in my leg. You know what I mean? I thought maybe these friggin' things will go off in my pants, man. So I was nervous even just carrying it. Not let alone using it. I'd use it if I had to. But I was scared that all the safeties were always off, man. I'm continuously going around hiding somewhere and checking all the safeties on these things. It was stressful. But anyway, once I knew they had it out for me, man, and I knew things were changing, I started to get some people first. So what I did is I got a few friends to talk to a few friends to talk to a few friends to talk to a few friends. Right? And then it came to a point where I actually had to barricade myself in my own apartment. I had to barricade myself in. You know what I mean? Like go in and not come out for a week. Because it was getting hot. It was getting really hot, man. People were at the point where they were at the car parking range next to me. There was like a three-level parking range. There was people parking there with guns, man. Every time they were aiming up at my apartment and everything, I could see friggin' red dots and everything every time I looked at my window. So these guys were trying to snipe me, right? But what I was doing is I was letting everybody talk and talk and talk and talk until I got about 10 different stories from the same 2 groups of people. So I put my own shit together. I knew where it was coming from. I knew what was happening. And then I instantly knew who everybody was. So I fixed it. I stopped it. I smoked them out of their own hole. These motherfuckers, pardon me, these motherfrienders aren't smart as I am. I was smarter because I got patience. I pondered and I waited and I waited. And I found out who it was. Boom, put a stop to it. I unblocked my door and I became Mr. Man of the Block again. You know what I mean? Poof, I felt good. I problem solved and I found out the slimy little... How could I say this without cursing? Ugh. I found them slimy little mother friendsers and I got them. But there was one point, you can even ask people. I'll do a question and answer. You guys can ask me questions too and I'll answer them. I took 7 people, locked them in their own apartment. They all had their guns on the table. 7 of them. And I'm just by myself. And I'm hoping that my reverse psychology is going to work. I'm hoping I'm going to brainwash these mother friendsers and hopefully everything's good. But I locked the door on them. One guy locked the door on 7 people. And they all had their guns. And I scared the freaking shit right out of them all. They were so scared. They were thinking, who's this white guy, man? You know, he's locking our doors. He's telling us to put our guns out and he's hollering at us. BJ Holland, his mother friendser. But anyway, so I straightened out that. So that stopped for a while. That was probably 2 years ago, I think. Just under 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. And then anyway, everything was good again for a little bit more. And then it got really hot again. And then the people that I was getting my pills off of died. They died. So now I was at war, like literally on the streets at war. No pills. I started to withdraw. And I was weak. I was frail. These people couldn't see me. So what I had to do was I had to go somewhere to strengthen up. Because if these people see me that weak and that down, they'd attack. And I'd be dead. They would have blew my friggin' head right off and I'd be dead. So what I did is I hid out. I hid out, I withdrawed, I went to a mental health and addictions place, and I signed myself in, and I got better. But once I got better, I started thinking to myself, man, like, I'm 40 years old. 40 years old. Do I want to go back to live this life now? Now I'm thinking, oh my God, like, people are trying to kill me, man. I've been shot by this point. You know, like, you know, people are trying to take my life. So that's when I decided that it's time for me to change my life. So I start doing everything over the phone with these guys. I start making them think that I was around the corner when I wasn't. Right? I was out getting clean, but I was still running shit from the phone. Right? These guys still believed I was around, and they knew I was nuts because I just defended myself 2 or 3 times. One from a big organization over in another city that was trying to kill me. And then my own block. My own block started to pop off on me, man. So what I did is I did the things that any other normal person would do. I saved my life, man. Because I had to. But once these guys died that I was getting my pills off of, I had to change my whole life. I didn't want to be a drug dealer no more. I didn't want to be going shooting and getting shot at. You know, like, it was too much, man. Like, I was actually scared for my life, right? Not that I couldn't and not that I wouldn't. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to go out like that, man. You know, I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like what I'm doing would be better than what I could have done, if that makes sense. Like, I instantly wanted to change. I don't know what it was. I was done with the drug life overnight. It just happened. And then I started to go on the road to recovery. Right? Then I started to recover. This was a whole new other world. This world was a world that BJ Holland was not ready for. The world of recovery. And I'm telling you, that's going to be an episode in itself. Because, oh my God, I never thought I could do it. But I did it. So glad I did it. I feel great now. But you know what? I'm going to explain the road to you. And it's a road you're not going to want to be on. But you got to get on it. It doesn't last forever, but you got to get on it. You got to change, man. If you don't change, you're going to die or be in jail. It's the only 2 ways. Death or jail. 2. That's it. That's it. It's the only ways. And I've experienced both of them. You know, like I've almost died a few times. And, you know, been arrested up there so many times. And it was all from people ratting on me. Because they wanted what I had. Right? My own friends were ready to do me in them. Because I never grew up with these people. These people never knew me for who I was and who I am and what I do. Like, I fight with my hands where I come from. I don't go blowing people's heads off. These people blow people's heads off. You know, I want no part of that now, man. Because, you know, it's not the life I want. I had to make the choice, do I live or do I die? And I chose to live. Okay? So my next story is going to be, like the next story that I do have, it's going to be about recovery. Okay? It's going to be all about recovery, guys. Right? How I did it. Because it was the hardest thing that I ever, in my whole life, had to endure. Hold on, I'm trying to get this thing open here. Because I promised on my next episode, I was going to give you guys some facts. And you know what? I'm going to give you guys some facts, a fact now. You know what I mean? But listen, my next story is going to be about how I got clean. So it's going to be an important story, guys. Because it's the battle. It was another battle. It was like a street battle, but I was battling for my life. You get what I'm saying? It was a whole new world and battle that I was taking on now. And it was to save my own life. So my next episode is going to be how I started to beat this addiction. Okay? That was a rundown of how I got to where I was and what happened throughout the years. up until this point, okay? So you just kind of have a good gist of my life now and what I was doing and how I was doing shit, and now you got up to now. So now you're gonna hear my recovery part, okay? Okay, you get what I'm saying, guys? So my next episode is gonna be all about how I got clean. But now, today's fact, folks. Fact or fiction? Am I telling you the truth or am I telling you a lie? Okay? Get ready for this one. Because it's going to either blow your mind or it ain't, but it blew my mind. Are you ready, guys? Fact or fiction? The reason why milk is white is because it contains a protein called casein, which is white. It also contains fat, which is green. Actually, you know what? That's kind of a stupid question, isn't it? I don't like that one. You know why? Because it's kind of boring. Here's another one. Fact or fiction? Is it impossible to sneeze with your eyes open? Is it impossible, guys? Is it impossible to sneeze with your eyes open? Yes or no? That's all you got to do. Yes or no. Can you or can't you? Okay? So tomorrow, tell me yes or no if you can, if you can't. Whoever wants to. Okay? That's just something I'm going to add in there every day. But now, next time, I'm going to be prepared and I'll have the question ready. I won't struggle like I just did. That was my flaw for today. Okay? I never thought this through good enough. But anyway, yeah. That's the question, okay? Can you sneeze with your eyes open? Is it impossible or is it possible? Okay? So tomorrow, I'll check. You guys can comment. You can ask me questions about what I said today. You can do whatever you want. Comment, like it, subscribe, please. You know, I like the subscribers, guys. I want to know that people are listening. I like to know that my story's being heard. Okay? I love you guys. And episode 4 will be coming soon. And it's going to be all about my recovery. Okay? It's going to be about my recovery then. Okay? But I had to fill you guys in on up until kind of like now. Right? How I started and stopped. Right? You know what I mean? I didn't want a bullet in my head, and I didn't want to put someone in someone else's head. So I decided enough was enough. I wanted to be one of them guys that actually got out and can live and don't got to worry about nothing. I never left on bad terms with people. There's nobody that wants to do me in. You know what I mean? I might want to do a few people in, but I'm not gonna, because I'm not that guy anymore. But there's a few I would like to. But anyway, enough of that. Remember, guys, can you sneeze with your eyes open or closed? Is it impossible or not? Yes or no? I'll talk to you tomorrow, guys. And remember, episode 4 is going to be all about my recovery. Okay? I'm going to tell you about the pain that I had to suffer and endure during that. And it was hell. The worst time of my life. But you know what? It made my life 10 times better than what it was, and what it is, and what it could have been. Now, I have a choice that I chose to do something about it, and I did it. And now it's working perfectly, okay? So you guys, next time, episode 4, it's going to be about my recovery. But I'm done telling my earlier stories. Because that's doesn't really mean much just up until now. Now you have a gist of why I'm back, right? That's it, right? I lived a long, tough fighting every day, trying to save my life every day. You know, hang around with these unloyal, there was no loyalty. There was loyalty to a degree, but I never went to school with these people. So you know what? They'd put a bullet in my head just as fast as they'd put one in someone else's head. And I could smell it, I could feel it, I could taste it. So I said, frig it, man. I'm getting sober. Okay? So now, next episode, guys, I'm going to tell you how I got sober. Okay? I love you guys. I hope you guys all have a great day. Take care and get ready for episode 4, mother friendsers. Woohoo!